Hello, everyone. Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Joey Mullins. Joey, how we doing today, man?
Oh, doing good, man. Doing good, doing good.
So we'll start off here how we like to start off the shows with the best thing we saw from the week and the worst thing we saw. I'll go first. My best thing I saw from the past week is the Cincinnati Bengals, who were dead in the water a few weeks ago when Joe Burrow went down with an injury, coming back
Mm.
and winning two games in a row with Jake Browning as a quarterback. Last Monday night in Jacksonville in overtime, the Bengals defeat Jacksonville Jaguars 34-31. Jake Browning threw for 354 yards, but also more importantly, they got that running game going with Joe Mixon and Chase Brown. Mixon ran for 68 yards, two touchdowns. Chase Brown had 61 yards. And then this past Sunday, Indy comes into town, and the Bengals just dominated the Colts, who were in a playoff spot at 7-5. Now they're 7-6 with the Bengals. The Bengals dominated them 34-14. Mixon had 79 yards. Chase Brown had 80 yards receiving. That running back room back there is getting going again like we needed it. And the Bengals playoff hopes are still alive. Jake Browning as like the savior of the city right now, coming out and getting two big wins for the Bengals. They've got kind of an easy schedule the rest of the way, but that is the best thing that I saw from this past week is the Bengals are still alive for a playoff spot, Joey.
Still alive, man. Jake Browning's like you said, savior of the city, man. I mean, nobody expected it. You know, I'm sure not. I didn't, and I'm sure you didn't either. Nobody expected him to step right in and do that good, but he's doing good. He's kept the playoff hopes alive. And Mixon, yes, finally got Mixon going, running game going. It's all starting to click. If we can just get our defense back healthy completely, I think the Bengals are in good shape.
And even Sunday, the defense they only give up really one touchdown because uh, there was a defensive touchdown scored for Indy. So,
Yeah,
with the interception return, but it's just 7 points given up for the defense. They played really good this past Sunday, and glad that they're back on track.
yes.
Joey, what is your best thing you saw from the past week?
Well, the best thing I saw was North Carolina, my Tar Heels, uh, playing against Florida State, a reputable conference at home. Game started out great. Carolina was on the roll, and all of a sudden, toward the end of the half, everything just went south. They were just, I mean, giving up layups. Letting Florida State step in the passing lane, not going to meet the ball. Uh, just a lot of mental mistakes. And this is a veteran team because of the transfer portal. So they got down 14 points in the second half, and Hubert Davis called a timeout, settled them all down, and they come back out, show composure, man. Come back out and won the game by 8. And that's something we didn't have last year. We did not have that composure, uh, leadership on the floor. RJ Davis is completely leading the team this year. Um, no knock against Caleb Love at all. I still, no pun intended, I still love Caleb Love, but him and RJ Davis just butted heads last year, I believe. Like, who's going to be the alpha male? Uh, and now this is RJ Davis's team, and he's clearly leading the team. Uh, Harrison Ingram's doing a good job, like swing man stepping in. Um, Cormac Ryan, he's went through a little bit of a shooting slump here lately, but I like where Carolina's sitting right now. Yep, that impressed me. That's something that we didn't have last year. We get down 14 in the second half last year, it's over.
Got down 14, come back, ended up winning by 8. The first conference
Mm-hmm.
game of the year, first ACC game for Carolina. RJ Davis had a big game, 27 points, and Baycott had a double double, 13 and 13. And the transfer Harrison Ingram had a pretty good game too. So good game for the Tar Heels there. Uh, for your best of the week, it's a pretty good one there.
Yep.
The Now we'll move on. We'll go a little more negative, as we like to do on this show at times. The worst thing that I saw from this past week comes to us from the NFL. Oh man, the Minnesota Vikings pick up a win over the Las Vegas Raiders, 3-0. That was the final, 3-0. As Nick Mullins hits a 3-run home run in the ninth inning to win the. Oh, wait a second, hold on. This is not baseball. This is football. Uh, Man, just an ugly game overall. Joshua Dobbs, a great story after being traded from the Arizona Cardinals to Minnesota trade deadline, gets benched during this game. He was sacked 5 times. Nick Mullins comes in and plays for the rest of the game, and just no offense at all. Aiden O'Connell threw for 171 yards. Jacobs led them with rushing 34, Alexander Madison 66. But man, not to score any points at all until the very end of the game. It set the NFL back like 60 years, man. You just don't see scores like that. And these two teams are, you know, decent teams. I mean, they're not great. Minnesota's got a chance to make the playoffs. And, if they make the playoffs with the record and the way they're winning games like that, is all I can say on it. And just the worst thing I saw, because it's just modern day NFL, there's offense everywhere, and there was none to be found whatsoever, and it's won by a field goal at the end of the game. Just awful. Worst thing I saw for the week, man. Just worst.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have a receiver like Devontae Adams, dude, and not have any points like that. I mean, he's an elite receiver. Um, and you got to find a way to get him going in the game. I mean, he's like a Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins. It's your dynamic playmaker, man. You got to find a way to get him going. Uh, make a way to get him the ball. So, but yeah, that was very disappointing. Like that was it shocked me when I kept looking at the score and like the second quarter 0-0, third quarter 0-0. I'm like, oh my, this is crazy.
And just think, you mentioned Devontae Adams, a superstar receiver. Minnesota has a superstar receiver of their own with Justin Jefferson. I know he just come back off of injury, but still, if you got those two guys out there playing receiver, you've got to come up with more than a total of 3. I mean, if anybody had the over under on this and they hammered the under, they got paid pretty well this past Sunday with that offensive
Or
performance. It was
or
just not good
or
at all.
if you had a no touchdown scored bet put in, you got paid
Yeah,
too.
you won that. You almost would have won if you put no score at all, because I mean they could have went to overtime and nobody scored either, and it was a 0-0 tie, like it's a soccer match or something like that. Crazy.
Crazy.
So, Joey, I went negative here. What is your worst thing you saw from the past week?
Well, my worst thing I saw is kind of controversial. There's going to be a lot of people that'll disagree with me, say, "Oh, that's not the worst thing." Mine was the Heisman Trophy presentation. Um, I mean, it was just somewhat of a letdown for me. Um, I think Michael Penix should have won the Heisman Trophy. I mean, what all he's done for that team, he beat Bo Nix in Oregon twice, um, undefeated. I mean, you can't. I mean, and his stats are just astronomical. Um, and it's and that's like one of them controversial things. I mean, you know, I don't know. It just kind of disappointed me because I just kind of thought, well, with his stats and the way he's performed all year, I just thought it was a lot for him to win. That was the worst
I
thing.
I agree with you. I think that Penix should have won. I think that the battle between him and Bo Nix in the big Pac-12 championship game was for the Heisman Trophy, and Penix won it straight up. But
Yeah,
they give it to Jaden Daniels, who had a good year. He ran for a lot of yards, passed for a lot of yards, 3,800 passing yards. Penix threw for more yards than he did. But Jaden Daniels, I guess if he wasn't on that team, instead of 9-3, they'd be 6-6 or 5-7 because they had a horrible defense. But at the same time, Michael Penix did not lose a game this year. He looked pretty good, and he, I believe, deserved to win the Heisman Trophy this past Saturday.
Not saying that Jaden Daniels didn't deserve to win the Heisman, because he had the stats to do it. I mean, with his rushing numbers added along with his passing numbers. Somebody said that he was like Marcus Allen out there playing quarterback as a quarterback and running back combo. But Michael Penix, I believe, should have won it. He beat Bo Nix twice, beat Bo Nix in the Pac-12 championship game to top it off. And Bo Nix was the favorite to win the Heisman going into that game, and Penix outperformed him. I believe Penix should have won. He didn't. Bo Nix finishes third in the Heisman race, and Marvin Harrison Jr., who is a stud of a wide receiver, finishes fourth for Ohio State, and he'll be coming back next year for his – well, he's possibly coming back to school next year, which is crazy. He should probably go in a draft, and he'll be a top 5 pick, no doubt about it. Well, Joey, we'll see you next week, man. Later.
Yay!